In the previous class, we had a discussion about program models. There we begin with the data flow graph and control data flow graph. Then we move towards another model, that is state machine model. So here the state machine model, it has a behavior with states, events, actions, and transitions. And what are these things? State is a representation of a current situation of the system. Then event describes the input to the state. Then the transition is the movement from one state to another state. Then comes the action, is the activity to be performed by the state machine. Then the useful state machine, it is a finite state machine, the FSM model, because it has a finite set of states. Then we had a discussion about example of seat belt warning system, what we are going to observe in the automotive embedded systems. That is nothing but an example of a vehicle, four-wheeler, that is car. So here the simple example is going to illustrate the only two requirements about this seat belt warning system. So here the two requirements for that system, it is when the vehicle is ignited, means it is turned on, the seat belt is not fastened within 10 seconds. So once the ignition is on, the system is going to wait for 10 seconds for next process. If it is, and the waiting period for 10 seconds, it is for the event known as if seat belt is not fastened. Okay, the system has to generate the alarm signal for 5 seconds. So the next, after waiting for 10 seconds, even though the seat belt is not fastened, there is an alarm of 5 seconds. So the alarm is going to sound for 5 seconds. This is first requirement. The second requirement is when we need to make this alarm off. So the alarm is made off, turned off, when the alarm time, that is 5 seconds, it is going to expire, or if the driver or the passenger fastens the seat belt, or if the ignition switch, it is turned off. So among these three, whichever the situation comes first, then the alarm is going to be off. So this one is the simple two requirement seat belt warning system, what we need to model by using FSM model concept. So here it has, we're going to define some states and events. So states are the alarm off, waiting period, and alarm on. So here the system is added with two concepts. One is the seat belt warning system, plus the process is depend on time, 10 seconds and 5 seconds. So for this time, we need to use another model, that is timer. Another model, it is timer. So based on the signals or the states or the transitions, so based on the events, what we are going to observe from that timer, this seat belt warning system is performing alarm on and off. Okay, and events are ignition on, ignition key off, time expire, alarm time expire, then seat belt on. So look at this states. So here we are going to mention the states in the circle. So here we are going to observe the three circles, means three states. One is alarm off, then comes waiting, then comes alarm on. Now, what are the transitions? So transitions are mentioned by using the arrows. By using the arrows, we are going to represent transition. So transition is going to happen when there is an event. When there is an event, then the states are going to change. The system is going to change its state from one state to another state. So when the ignition key is on, the event occurs to the machine. Then the transition is going to happen from alarm off to waiting, because it has to wait for 10 seconds until unless the seat belt is not fastened. Wait for 10 seconds. Next, when it is going to come out from this waiting state, it may move towards alarm on or it may move towards alarm off. So if I go for alarm off, the waiting state to alarm off state transition, it is going to happen on two events. If anyone comes first, it depends on two events. What are the two events? One is the ignition key off or the seat belt is on. During waiting period, within that 10 seconds, if the passenger or the driver fasten the belt, immediately it is going to go for alarm off. Okay, it is going to move towards alarm off. Or if the car itself is off, the ignition key itself is off, then it is going to stop its process and it is going to go to alarm off mode. If ignition key is on, then seat belt is not fastened, then what is the process after 10 seconds? After 10 seconds means it is going to wait for the timer, another model timer. So from that output, from that event, the timer is going to wait for 10 seconds. Then it is going to generate one event. What is that event? Timer expire. Timer is over, 10 seconds is over. Still, the seat belt is not fastened. Hence, go for alarm on state. So the time expire event is going to give the transition from waiting to alarm on. Then, when the alarm on is going to move towards alarm off, it won't move towards to waiting because there is no requirement. The requirement is only make the alarm on and off. Okay, alarm on to waiting, there is no transition. So the only transition from alarm on to alarm off we are going to observe. So when it is going to happen? So the second requirement is what? The alarm off is going to happen among any three condition events come first. What are the events? If ignition key is off, you can observe here. If ignition key is off within that 5 seconds, or the seat belt is on within that 5 seconds, or the 5 seconds is over. 5 seconds is over, means the alarm time expires. Then the state is going to move from, there is a transition, it is from alarm on to alarm off. So this one is a simple seat belt warning FSM model. Then what about the timer? If you go for the timer model, here we are going to observe timer is also having three states. The three states are idle state, when the timer it is in the off mode, then ready state when it is begin its task, beginning stage, initialization, the ready state. Then it has another state called running, when timer is running. Okay, so when it is going to move from the idle state to ready state, when the timer event occurs, load timer event occurs, and ignition key is on, immediately it is nothing but what? The timer has to start its working with the loading of timer count. What is the timer count? So for when ignition is on, it is going to timer count, it is going to have the count of 10 seconds. So once the ready state is occurred, timer start event is going to appear. Once the load is over, followed by this ready state, the running state will appear. When the start timer event occurs, then immediately it will move to ready to running state. Okay, so during running state, what is going to happen? Here, the count is go on decrementing from 10 seconds to 0 second. Okay, from 10 seconds to 0 second. Then when it is going to generate signals, events, timer expire or alarm time expire. Alarm time expire or the timer expire, when the decrement has the count up to 0, then it is going to move from running state to ideal state, because whatever the count is there for the timer count, it is over. Hence, it is going to move from running to ideal by generating the events. Generating the events. What are the generating events? It is, for the previous example, we need 2 events. What are the 2 events we need? The 2 events we need, it is from the timer. It is timer expire for 10-second timer and alarm time expire for 5-second timer. So for 10-second and 5-second, 2 times this timer model is used by this seat belt warning system. So this one is about the recap of previous concept. So we are going to continue this example for next models. It is about FSM model, okay, final state machine model. Then we have another model, programming model. It is sequential program model. Okay, I hope you got the FSM model, the final state machine, the state machine. Then we move towards another model. It is sequential program model. So what is this sequential program model? The functions or processing requirements are executed in sequence, one by one execution. In sequential fashion, the functions or processing requirements are executed. So here the program instructions are iterated. The program instructions are iterated and executed conditionally, and the data gets transferred through a series of operations. Means here the program instructions, the sequential program model is nothing but what? The programming, where we are going to observe the sequential fashion execution of each one by one instructions and how they are executed by iterating and executing based on condition and the data transfer. If it is there, it is going to transfer through a series of operations. So it is nothing but what? The sequential program model. So if you go for any type of programming where the sequential, if you go for any model where the execution is there step by step, one instruction to the next instruction, okay, then it is nothing but what? Sequential program model. So the execution of function in a sequential program model for a seat belt warning system, it is will be like this. We are going to take the help of a C program. We are going to take the help of a C program. Obviously, the C program is a sequential program model. So for this seat belt warning system only, we are going to write how we can write the program in sequential fashion. Okay, by using C++, Java, we may go for object oriented also. Okay, non-sequential. Okay, so here we go for the model. It is sequential program model. So we are going to take the help of the C language for achieving this model. So here I am going to define some variables, some constants. It is hash define on nothing but 1, hash define off nothing but 0, hash define yes is nothing but 1, and hash define no nothing but 0. So we have a model. What is the model? It is seatbelt warning system. Hence, I am going to write a function which is going to perform this task. Whatever the requirement it is there for seatbelt warning system, to achieve those requirements, let me define a function. So what is that function? Here we are not going for complete program. We are going for only how we can write the model for that one. Okay, a segment, a function for that work. So the name of this function, let me give as seat underscore belt underscore war. Okay, then once if it is called by the main program, when the seat belt warning is going to happen. When it's going to happen, when the program is going to call this function, when the ignition is happening. Ignition key is on state. When ignition key is on, then we return the program, the main program we return, such that it is going to call this seat belt warn function. Okay, I'm explaining only a part of this complete C program. We are not going to talk about complete C program. We are just an example of how the sequential program is going to happen. So one line by line execution is going to be happening. Means once the C program is going to call this function, then the function is going to iterated and executed one by one, line by line execution. First, it is going to call another function. Okay, you just think that another function is there, which is the return for a waiting period of 10 seconds. Waiting period of 10 seconds. So I'm going to call that function by using the function name wait underscore 10 second. Okay. Means what? This function is going to work only for 10 seconds. Then what is the condition? After waiting period of this 10 seconds. After waiting period of this 10 seconds. So here we need to write another statement, another instruction. The instruction is conditional statement. What is that conditional statement? The status of ignition key. The status of ignition key after waiting for 10 seconds. So here the check ignition key function is called, where it is going to maintain the status of ignition key. Somewhere it is written. It is also a function. Somewhere it is written. The codes are with respect to that function. Those are written. We are just talking about how we can implement this seat belt warning system, okay, in sequential fashion, the sequential program. Then, so if I call the check ignition key function, status of ignition key, whether it is written by the situation, the present status of that ignition key. Okay, then, and we're checking here whether it is on or off. We're checking here it is for on state. Check ignition key is on. If it is true, if means after waiting for 10 seconds, still the ignition is on, what we need to do? We need to check the seat belt status. We need to check seat belt status. So here, once again, let us call another function, check seat belt function, which is going to maintain, which is going to return the condition or status of that seat belt. It is on or off based on that situation. And during that period, when this function is called, at that time, what is the status? Immediately it is going to return. It is also written somewhere in the main program. So this, based on the result of this seat belt status, check the seat belt function. If it is off, means after 10 seconds also, and car is on, then we need to check seat belt. If seat belt is off, still it is not fastened by the driver or a passenger, then what we need to do? Means we are checking if it is off. Okay, suppose it is off, still it is not fastened. Then what we need to do? We need to call a function which is going to set the timer for seconds, which is going to set the timer for 5 seconds. So after completion of that 5 seconds, or set the alarm first, then start the alarm. Means moving the timer event from compared to the FSM model, moving from idle to ready state. So set the timer for 5 seconds, load the count, then start the alarm. So while the alarm is on, when alarm is on up to 5 seconds, the alarm is going to on. So during that period, we need to check the condition. Alarm is on nothing but once the execution of this start alarm function. So it is going to start the alarm immediately. line by line execution. So after the execution of this line, the compiler is going to move towards next statement. What is the next statement? A while statement. So what is this while statement? Here we need to, the second requirement, that is what? Alarm off. When the alarm off is going to happen, based on seat belt, based on ignition key, and based on the timer expire. Based on events. What is the seat belt condition? If it is off, seat belt off idre during that 5 seconds, even though the seat belt is off or the ignition key is on and the timer expiry, it is not happening. Timer expiry, timer expire, it is equal to no, means still 5 seconds are not reached. Okay, so means what? So here the alarm is go on running. So what this condition is going to tell, if seat belt is off and the ignition key is on and the timer, it is still running, the timer is still running, then what we need to do, we need to keep this loop as it is. We need to keep the execution within the loop. So this semicolon indicates no instruction. This semicolon indicates after the while condition, this semicolon indicates what? There is no execution. The processor is running the previous instruction itself. Processor is running previous instruction itself. No statement within the while loop, nothing but what? It is in the infinite loop. Okay. So when it is going to be broken, when any one of these three conditions is going to fail. Any one of these three conditions is going to fail. When it may be during that 5 second period, if seat belt is fastened, this condition is going to fail. Or if ignition key is off, this condition is going to fail. Or after the period of 5 seconds, after the completion of 5 seconds, the complete alarm is going to sound for 5 seconds. After that time expiry, this condition is also fail. If among these three, if any condition is going to fail, so the program is going to come out from while statement to next statement. What is that statement? Stop alarm. When the set timer it is completed 5 seconds, then it is coming out from start alarm to stop alarm. So this one is the simple model. Let me tell you, it is not the complete program. It is a simple function, a part of the complete program. A part of the complete program we have written. Which part it is? A part which is concentrating on the seat belt warning through the sequence programming concept. So here in this C program, the execution of instruction, it is one by one. Completion of one instruction, then the compiler is going to move towards execution of next instruction. Okay. And here the another important tool used for modeling. It is not like that you need to write the model or program itself. You need to write the program itself. So you can perform this sequential program model by using another tool. It is flowcharts. So the flowchart, it is also the sequential program model. So you can observe this flowchart for the given example. Instead of writing that complete program or a model, we can show that model in the form of flowcharts. So this one is the simple flowchart, what we are going to observe to achieve that seat belt warning system. So when it is going to begin, it is going to begin with, the model is going to begin with the ignition key on. Ignition key on. When the ignition key is on, then the flowchart is going to start its execution. Then it is going to wait for 10 seconds. It is going to wait for 10 seconds. Then if based on ignition key status, because the driver or a passenger may turn off that ignition key within the 10 seconds, within the 10 seconds. So we need to check whether the ignition key is still on or not, on or off. If it is on, we need to go for next process. Otherwise, stop the process there itself. So here, I think another line should come. Okay, it is there already. So if it is yes, it will move to next process. If it is no, it will come to stop, end of the process. Then if ignition key is on still after 10 seconds, so what is the next step? If it is yes, check the status of seat belt. Check the status of seat belt. If it is on, then no need of any alarm, because the seat belt is already fastened. So no need of any alarm. So the seat belt is on condition. Yes, yes means it is moved towards end of the program. Okay, end of the process. If it is no, if seat belt is not fastened, if it is no, then what we need to do? We need to set the alarm for 5 seconds and start that alarm. Set the alarm timer for 5 seconds and start the alarm. Okay, and alarm is there. When alarm is there, then what is the thing? We need to concentrate to make this process off or to make this stop the alarm. So we need to check either one event is occurring or not. Ignition key is on. If ignition key is on, go to next status. Otherwise, if ignition key is off, immediately go to end of this process. End of this process. Then, if ignition key is on, then what we need to check? The seat belt is on or off. Here we are checking the condition for seat belt on. If seat belt is on, if it is yes, then stop the alarm. Otherwise, if seat belt is off, then what we need to do? We need to check whether the 5-second timer is expired or not. Is the timer expired? Means 5 seconds are over. If it is yes, then stop the alarm. If it is no, once again go back to the condition. Check the condition: ignition on, seat belt on, and timer expired. So these three things will be there until unless the timer expiry event occurs or the ignition key off or the seat belt is on. So if seat belt is on, obviously we move towards stop alarm. Once the timer expiry is achieved, if it is yes, then it is going to stop the alarm. So after stopping the alarm, it is end of the seat belt warning system is going to stop its process. So this is the way how we are going to achieve the given problem statement using sequential program model through one of the C program example or the program itself or by using the flow chart. So you need to go through these concepts once again, once I share these videos in the YouTube, so that you can get the concept clearly. Next, we move towards the next model. It is concurrent or communicating process model. Concurrent communicating process model. So what this one? So what we have observed in this sequential execution. So here to execute something, to perform something, we need to wait for the end of previous task. Until unless the previous task is going to complete, the compiler or the processor will not move towards next sequence of execution. So this sequential execution leads to a single sequence execution of a task and thereby leads to poor processor utilization. Means we can't, even though it is a high-end processor, we can't use it sufficiently because the processor is modeled for sequential fashion. After completion of one task, it won't talk about another task. Means there is no parallel execution. Okay, line by line execution is there. So obviously it is going to leads the poor processor utilization. When the task involves the input output waiting, then sleeping for specified duration. So it is going to sleep for specified duration, or the task involves in input and output waiting. Means what? It is nothing but what? So when the processor is doing one task, remaining tasks are going to be in the sleep mode or they are in the waiting period. So the concurrent or communicating process model models concurrently executing tasks or processes. So concurrently they are going to be executed. So how? Here the task is split into multiple sub-tasks. So instead of putting all the tasks in the single function, single model, here it is going to model. It is going to model. So it is going to create sub-models or in the form of sub-task. So this model is going to create sub-models. Here once again, the sub-model will be there. Okay, what are the sub-models? We'll come to know about that example once again. So it is possible to tackle the CPU usage effectively because we can monitor, because all the sub-models are working concurrently. They are working concurrently. So we are going to observe the CPU usage, means whatever the high-end processor is there, it is purely busy. Okay, there is no waiting period, there is no sleeping hours. It is always running. One or another work it is doing. Okay, so the CPU usage will be there effectively, and when the subtask under execution goes to a wait or a sleep mode by switching the task execution. Okay, it will go to sleep or waiting period by switching the task execution. So once again, we go for how to implement this seatbelt warning system under this concurrent processing model. Means what? We need to divide this process, whatever may be the process or a state or a event. So states are there, the processes are there. We are going to divide these things into number of sub-models. Number of sub-models. So here, we are going to have the tasks. So what are the tasks we are going to observe in this model? So here where we have the wait timer task. The wait timer task, which is going to wait for 10 seconds. Okay, it is going to there for 10 seconds. So it is a built-in program, we may say. It is a built-in model, separate model, which is not depend on any other processes. It is purely different model, a separate model. Okay, it is a separate model where it is written for or built for the process of 10-second waiting. 10-second. It is not like that this process, this model is used by only this seatbelt warning system. If any system require this type of function, then they can use this model. They can use this model. So wait timer task means it is going to wait for 10 seconds. Another one is there, the ignition key status monitoring task. Ignition key status monitoring task. Okay, so you can have the question like that. In the previous sequential program, we explained we are using some functions which are also working for these tasks itself. Okay, that first statement, that is wait 10-second function. In the previous example, the wait 10-second function. But what is going to happen about the processor? When the processor is executing that statement, the remaining statements are still under wait mode. What about here? Here there is no waiting period. All are working concurrently. All tasks, all functions are working concurrently. Okay. So that is the difference between the sequence and concurrent models. So here the another task is that it is ignition key status monitoring task. So task for checking the ignition key status, whether it is on or off. Then alarm control task. So the task for starting and stopping the alarm. There we have written separate functions. We are calling separate functions: start alarm, stop alarm. Now here only one task which is performing both starting and stopping alarm. Then alarm timer task. Because in this example we have two timers. One is a 10-second timer, another one is 5-second timer. So here we are going to split those things into. But what is going to happen in the previous concept? In the previous concept, both 10-second and 5-second are used by the single timer. When we need 10-second, we are going to load the timer by 10 seconds. When we need 5-second timer, we are going to load the timer by 5 seconds. And the timer is go on decrementing its value. Once the timer is over, it is going to generate time expire event. But here, what is going to happen? We are going to, what I said. So here, the concurrent processing model is going to model it is going to divide, split into multiple tasks, split into multiple sub-tasks. So the another task is about alarm timer task, which is made for waiting period of 5 seconds. Then another one is ignition seat belt status monitoring task. So main task is seat belt status. So task for checking the seat belt status. Okay. So these are the 5 sub-tasks what we are going to create in this concurrent process model. Then how to relate these things? How to relate these subtasks? How one task is depend on another task. So here we are going to create and initialize the events. The events are the wait timer expire, wait timer expire. This is the event, which is given by what? Which is given by the alarm control or alarm time. Then comes it is ignition on, ignition key off. Then comes we have the seat belt on, seat belt off events. Then the alarm timer start, then alarm timer expire. These are the events which are going to be transferred between one task to another task. One task to another task. So here we need to create the task. One is wait timer task, another one is ignition key status, the seat belt status, alarm control, and alarm timer. Let us go for how the model look like. So here the model is first model what we can write, define, it is the ignition key status monitoring task. Ignition key status monitoring task. What is the ignition key? Whether it is on or off. When it is on, it is going to generate some events. When it is off, it is going to generate some events. So these events are going to what? These events are going to make another task to be executed. Another task will be executed. Means what? The concurrent communication, concurrent processing. So here we can go for the ignition key status monitoring task. It is going to run continuously for infinite times. While one. What is the statement here? While one, nothing but this program will not be turned off. It will not be turned off. It is continuously working in the system until unless the car itself is off. Ignition key is off. Once the ignition key is on, this program is go on running continuously. There is no end of this process. But when it is going to move from one process to another, concurrent, nothing but it is continuous. It is never end. It may transfer the events. It may ignite another task. It may trigger another task, but it won't stop. Okay, means it is receiving the events and it is sending the events. So what is the event when it is going to be on? And this task will be executed when the ignition key is on or off. Okay, so it is running. So here it is going to check if one by one execution. Once again, here if the ignition key is on, the event is what? Ignition key event on, set ignition key event on, and reset means make this ignition off event will be off. There are two events with respect to ignition key. One is it is on, it is off. Ignition on, it is set means it is telling the processor the ignition key is on. Okay. What about another event? Ignition key off, it will be reset. So when event ignition key is on, then what is going to happen? Here the alarm control system is going to begin. Okay, and it is going to wait for the signaling of wait timer expire. Then it is going to have the if ignition on and seat belt off. Ignition on and seat belt off. So when is going to happen? Here it is once again the waiting for signaling of waiting timer. It is going to call another task. It is wait timer task. Wait timer task. It is going to run for what? It is going to sleep that process for 10 seconds. There is a delay of 10 seconds. Once the 10 seconds is over, then it is going to set the event known as wait timer expire. Wait timer expire. Once this one is over, the task of this wait timer is over, it will move to this wait timer expire. Once this one is over, then the alarm control task is going to execute this statement. So this statement is what? If ignition key is on. So if the ignition key is on and seat belt off. So ignition key is on. Obviously, when this ignition key status monitoring task is executing, and at the time when it is going to found the ignition key is on, then it is going to set the ignition key on status. When ignition key on status is there, then it will support this concurrent process of alarm control task. So this condition is going to be true. Then another task, it is waiting for what? The seat belt off. Ignition key is on and seat belt off. So what this seat belt off? So here the another task which is monitoring the status of seat belt. There is nothing but what? The task name is ignition seat belt status monitoring task. It is also continuously running program, a non-stop program. But here it is going to receive some events and it is going to generate some events. So what is it is working for? It is going to set or reset the events, seat belt on or off. When the seat belt on is set, when the seat belt is on. When seat belt off is set, when the seat belt is off. So the program it is written so that if seat belt is on, set the seat belt on event. Otherwise, the seat belt off event will be reset. Then what about if seat belt is off? Then the set seat belt off event on and reset seat belt on event off. Okay. So here these two programs are working on the key as well as seat belt status. So during the time when this alarm control task is executing this statement, it is going to check what is the condition of status of these two events, ignition on and seat belt off. If seat belt is off, obviously we need to start the alarm. Start the alarm and car is in the on state. So here the start alarm will be executed. Start alarm will be executed. Then the set event alarm start. Once the set event alarm start is set, then it is going to wait for alarm timer expire. So this set event alarm start is ignite another task. So what is that another task? It is alarm timer task. So waiting task is for 10 seconds. The alarm task is for 5 seconds. So it is going to wait for 5 seconds. It is going to wait for 5 seconds. Then the signal, the timer expire, alarm timer expire will be set after completion of 5 seconds. So once it is set, what is going to happen? So here it is waiting for any one event occurs first. Any one event occurs first. So what is the event? It is waiting for what? The alarm timer off, or so all these three green color lines. So all these three, nothing but what? Ignition off, or the seat belt is on, or the alarm timer of 5 seconds is over. So if anyone comes first, then it is going to stop the alarm. So, and these all tasks are running concurrently, parallelly. It is not like that one is doing and another one is sleeping. No, here these two tasks you can observe here, while one means what? They are running continuously. They are checking the status of seat belt and ignition continuously. And we have written the task, that is alarm control task, which is going to receive these events, check these events. During that period, what is the condition, and it is going to perform its task. Okay, so these are the things what we are going to observe in concurrent process model. Nothing but we are going to subdivide all the tasks, and we are going to use those results of those tasks during our program execution. Okay, during that time, what is the condition? Based on that, we are going to process all the steps. So this is about the concurrent or communicating process model. The next one is object-oriented model. We will discuss this one in the next class. So here you need to go through these concepts once again, have a recap of all these things,